Hello, I am TOEFL Guy. But if you've been following this meta course, you already know that people call me Guy. This is the second episode of the listening block. In the previous episode, we had a quick look at the general format of the test, the questions, and the recordings, and discussed 3 types of questions from the basic understanding category. If you haven't watched it yet, you can find that episode in the playlist. In this episode, we are going to analyze one of the types of recordings that are used in the TOEFL listening test. The conversation, which follows a standard organization in the exam. If we know how these conversations are organized, it is much easier to take notes and answer the questions. On pages 32 to 38 of the Nail It book, you will find the sample conversation we showed on the previous episode, with the complete analysis presented in this episode and more. If you don't have the book yet, get it on Amazon. Check out the link in the description of this video. Now, let's go.
So, did you get a good idea of what a TOEFL listening test conversation looks like? Did you pay attention to the content, purpose, and details of the conversation? Now let's investigate the pattern and organization of these conversations. That is, the discourse. Let's divide the conversation into phases to make our work easier. The first phase is the greeting. Speakers greet each other or ask to talk. Hello. Good morning. Excuse me. Depending on the level of formality and situation. Soon after that comes the purpose phase. Speakers establish the central topic or purpose of the conversation. Then comes the response phase. Speakers address the central issue to resolve it. Then comes the solution phase. The conversation ends with the solution of the problem or suggestions for future actions. After that, all that remains is the closing. When the speakers say their goodbyes, thanks, advice, confirm the solution, etc. See you later. Thank you so much. Don't forget to call her. Good. We'll meet tomorrow then. Let's have a quick look at this phase and our example in this conversation between the student and the librarian. The student greets the librarian quickly and proceeds to the reason part. In this example, the student offers 2 reasons. I'm a new student.
Hi, I'm a new student.
And I was not able to come to the orientation yesterday.
I was not able to come to the orientation yesterday.
The purpose is, I would really appreciate if you could give me a few quick pointers about the library.
And I would really appreciate if you could give me a few quick pointers about the library.
Hey, did you notice any difference between my pronunciation and the student's pronunciation? Mainly in the words student and quick. If you noticed, your ear is already well trained to recognize the sounds of the English language. But if you haven't noticed, it doesn't matter because you can work it out in the listening and speaking parts of the general block. The next episode will deal precisely with the influence of other languages on the pronunciation in English. Now let's get back to the listening test. It is important to write down the information you hear. You don't have to copy the speech, just to make quick notes like this: new, no orientation, info library. Notice that the two reasons are simple and direct. But the purpose has a much more complex form and uses an idiomatic expression, also called idiom, which is the key to understanding. A few quick pointers. This happens a lot on the exam. That's why it's important to know these expressions. The general block has several episodes about idioms.
As we saw before, the third phase of the discourse, response, is the longest phase and has most of the information. It is important to write down as much detail as possible. Many of the questions in the test ask for details, and we don't know which details the questions will ask for. As this phase is long, let's take a look at the schematic summary. Check it out. American literature. It is abbreviated, but it is Latin American literature because the student said that this is what she is studying. Upstairs history. The history section upstairs. Researching a lot because she said she researches a lot in the history section. Transfer because she transferred from another university. Done 2 years. She said she had already completed 2 years of the course. A month, it is the loan period that the library offers, a month. But I remember that the guy said it was renewable. Interlibrary. It is the interlibrary loan. 3 times a week. The times the van comes around to do the interlibrary service. Last school. Her previous college. Long time to get materials. It took a long time to receive the books. Computers plug in. Place to charge the computer. Internet that they offer in the library. All right here. She said she could do all her work in the library. Photocopiers. The copy machines. Copy card. Because they use a card system. Buy front desk. She needs to buy a copy card at the reception. 7 cents, which is the price of the copy. Okay. Because she said okay. Rare books. Because she asked about rare books. Separate room. The books are in a separate room. Controlled temperature. The temperature of this room is controlled. Special permission. They need special permission to go to this room. Wear gloves. Also need to wear gloves. Not to damage paper. This precaution is to avoid damaging the paper of these books. Box of gloves in room. Because there is a box of gloves in this room. We may even miss some details, but making a schematic summary will help us to answer several of the questions and perhaps even all of them. Who knows, right? The solution phase is evident when the student says that she is satisfied with the information, and the closing is when the speakers say goodbye.
Okay, I believe that's all the information I needed. Thanks. Have a good day.
Same to you. Bye.
Bye.
This was the second episode of the listening block. We analyzed the organization of the conversation style used in the TOEFL test and saw that these conversations usually have 5 phases: greeting, reason, response, solution, and closing, and the type of information that usually appears in each of these phases. Practicing with mock tests, we will be able to focus our attention right on the important parts and make the best schematic summaries and answer the questions without problems. Don't miss the next episode of the listening blog. We will discuss the questions and answers of that library mock test. Subscribe to the channel and watch this space.